September 11th, 2001. Some bleeding idiot knocked down 3 towers with 2 planes. The buildings were separated by other buildings. They were, on a... had to be on a... had to be 1,000 times bigger than those planes, at least. Every action, there's equal opposite reaction. I mean, it's the law. It's the law. You don't get to vote about it. Common sense would dictate that nobody in particular was in on it. For instance, I saw nothing. Tens of thousands of other people didn't see. But the inference that you could make me join them, there is nothing in the world. There is no amount of gold that could protect a sucker from himself. Washington owes me for acting like a bunch of fucking pussies for the past 20 years. And some goddamn heretical wizard tried to kill me. Got his own champion killed in the process. And instead of being sued, disbarred, and blackballed, he made it into an internationally publicated magazine. So that would seem like a logical place to start. I might have to sue the state of Florida for the protracted trying to drag it out beyond. Thinks he can drag it out beyond the rule of law and still run for re-election. The Teutonic Knights were despised for being barbarians from no civilized place known to man, who invaded and set up shop and acted like they could just exploit us and conduct business like we were just another crop. The Templars had a right representing the previous owners. Now, I don't know how we want to frame this. I can't find any smelly, illiterate, barbarian Teutonic Knights. Their cross seems to be dominant. I know that the passive consumerist peasant uprising doesn't care what, as long as they get fed. But your Interpol, where anybody gets off converting the Swiss Guard and the Royal Guard, well, I guess the Royal Guard, but the Swiss Guard, Satanists only, Swiss Guard. We're losing holy wars on multiple fronts. You don't have to be a Christian, but we're going to go ahead and be Christians. While the Israelites of the world are going to do that thing they do. I really don't know where you get off blaming the Chinese or anybody. If you're not first do no harm, all enemies foreign and domestic, you may as well be Chinese. At least the Chinese try to be good at whatever. We've always known that television makes you stupid. There's something to be said for the silver screen and for freedom of the press being their virtues. But if TV doesn't make you stupid, I mean, we wouldn't be having this conversation. So, safe to say, the reality TV makes you real stupid. That's why I don't watch TV. I mean, the commercials are obviously in on it. You couldn't possibly be this stupid without some help. But reality TV has all these passive psych med consumers full of envy and these unrealistic expectations. Look how fabulous you can be. Good. We're gonna have a problem here. Somebody like picked a fight, acted like they could just leave it on me because I'm supposed to be president one day. I'll just pay for it. And I didn't consent to either adversely affected party, so you're gonna pay for it. And we can do that legally. I mean, that's not within my dominion. I don't exert custodianship over the realm of law. And we live in an age of communication. You can't silence everybody and, pretend you're in charge. So figure if something can be destroyed by the truth, it probably should be before somebody finds probable cause to spend 20 minutes on my page. Common sense might dictate that when some guy you know for a fact is ripping off the insured that we're supposed to go fight to enforce or stay here and die to fulfill. When one of them calls somebody crazy, you might actually, when somebody knocks down 3 towers with 2 planes and calls somebody crazy, whatever the crazy person is saying, I mean, you might want to ask them what we're talking about, because that crazy person might not even be aware that it was or fake my death. Obviously weren't paying attention to me. Otherwise, it might occur to you that we possibly be that stupid by accident. I'm gonna fake my death. I'm gonna go over here. I'm gonna give my real name to the government. I'm gonna give different names to these people. And then I'm gonna bug out because the government knows what else I'm doing. I wasn't trying to get rolled by some goddamn gang. I ain't from around here trying to step on toes for a job with my real name. So, religion is a search for universal and eternal truth. It's not some heretical, insane, flat earth cult trying to force people to take the blame for something they don't know if they actually did. The corporation fulfilled a contract. They probably didn't sign the contract to, kill people, presume. But as long as, the other, this intergalactic media apparatus with its competitors have badges. I don't know if you noticed. Maybe they're not exclusively to. Anyway, so if we eliminate the excuses, figure you don't buy a Corvette and smash it into an ATM and blame the car manufacturer unless you're one of these Marxist groupthink wizards, some heretic from beyond the edges of the known world, here to usurp and destroy us. Don't, threaten, intimidate, provoke, instigate me, punish my family for years with me having no idea or any reason to suspect. Don't say it's natural causes in the hospital and then blame Mexico. Blame the fucking Mexicans. Like, I will gut you. I will unzip you. Washington, these coroners have to be more afraid of us than they are of them. Catholics, Jews, Greeks of the world, China. Any objection? There's a reason they and they alone get to wear a badge in the cooler. The cops go in, they get the results. But that's his office. He's the cop around here. I mean, we got all these medical professionals, probably more than we need just to IQ test themselves, for one thing. But our personnel, maybe some of them could be put to work auditing the municipalities. To the so-called religious sects who worship some, inside joke because they hate religion, they blame religion. Understand that the IRS wrote the laws governing what establishes a religion at a time when you could not sell 100 wizards in 30 seconds. When you could not just take a picture of a young lady and get 1 million followers. It turns out that for the past century, over a century, turns out that John Lennon's biography mentions that his grandfather stewarded a ship catered by the gay mafia. Now, the gay mafia was founded when the English persecuted the French who signed their secret messages anonymous, because some people will be like, oh, I need this to feed my family. And some people will just be like, well, my life isn't fair. And they'll just take it. I readily acknowledge I owe a couple people a couple bucks. It's none of your business. So, we can find forgiveness. It doesn't have to turn into a Christian thing and our Christian right. So, it wasn't handled. People make these presumptions like the democracy, and a Greek system wants the government to enforce the law and leave us alone. I don't generally appeal to police. I don't have business in their sphere of influence. The feds, I mean, if they could do it to me as an enlistee, they could do it to any of us. So I appeal to their sense of self-preservation. And they come from all walks of life. Like, they don't all like equal opportunity, because equal opportunity is just some carpetbagger pencil whipping a campaign fund that says we have to hire so many people, whether they like us or not. But they're not going to provoke people until they assert their survival instinct, act like they're racist, misogynist, and crazy homo and all that. Timothy McVeigh, FBI, didn't rub anybody the wrong way. It looked like he might not have been a foreigner. Ted Kaczynski. The Reich has established a pattern behavior, a history of attacking their closest Christian allies in Poland. A hood and sunglasses. And then, what was that kid's name in Florida? Right, he got shot beating up some neighborhood watch wannabe, some stalker. Kill the hoodies, wear a mask. The Reich clearly works for the Muslims. The Muslims, Allah has a taste for the blonde ones. They pay a little extra for the blonde ones. I say it's an attack on Christianity. It is. It just happens to be, again, historically speaking, the blonde ones come from the same direction as the Christians. Certain parties claim ancestral pretense. That's their job, sell the blonde ones. You claim that, you can blame God and whatever, act like you ain't got to answer my question, and then watch your kids get sold off 2 by 2, rob both, leave them, settle it amongst themselves, sell the survivor for double, act like you ain't got to listen to me. All you want. I'm just saying, the Teutonic Knights appear to have been civilized to some extent. So maybe the Templars are devil worshippers only, but we represent the people on the land before the puritanical witch hunting. Like, you call me gay, I'm gonna call you gay back, and that's it. It's settled. But these people act like it's just cause. Like, I cuss my neighbor out, I expect to be cussed out back. Now I know he's not in on it. I don't need some fanatical heretic renegade news team going and following up on that story before, like, I'm supposed to go find out about it in hell. I went across the river. I climbed the mountain. I communed with the spirits. I stacked the rocks. Nobody told me. I've had friends and family and, hapless bystanders paying the price for your gullible, complacent, just resigned stupidity for the past 20 years. And turns out before that too, people sold their souls before I was born, acting like it cast a stone at me for something I did when I was 6. Like, I tried to choke out a cokehead who put hands on my mom when he was 6, so you're against that. Figure I could probably rally some support. Tried to make him drink piss. You're not gonna ban waterboarding and Bill Meek. I'm not gonna change my name. I'm not gonna be knighted over, over here. That means declared insane. Obviously, Sir Isaac Newton was knighted because there's no king or God or anybody could argue with what he proved. And that's why, our prerogative, like if you're with me, if I made a deal with the devil, it wasn't after I raised my right hand for Washington, so I don't think I can be knighted but pretty sure they go along with the whole. I mean, they have a space program. I don't know if I'm a Templar Knight. I know I'm a Templar, and I'm the least of my brothers. I'm not worthy, but I do have the mandate. I have a vendetta. You weren't born that way. You're either molested and brainwashed, or you have a vendetta to fulfill. There's a couple ways to do that. You don't have to go to war. I'm going to war. I'd have been married when I was 14 if I didn't have these ridiculous Washington. There's no excuse. They live in a fantasy world. They live in a flat Earth-like planet ruled by ghosts. You're losing a holy war against a fatherless, landless, heathen, unwashed, zombie asshole apocalypse, and we're gonna vote for that. We're paying for it. Around these parts, Washington sells little blonde ones. If you have questions, you see the big White House. This ain't it. I propose solutions to problems which predicated the necessity, the tragedies which brought about the. And you know, certain parties don't have a say in the matter. Like certain parties don't have to lift a finger. The leader takes the bad with the good, and if it's justified, I mean, the average peasant will forget about it 2 days from now. Like, that's why they end up paying for it. But I didn't pay for it. I wasn't okay with it. So sorry, news team. You're gonna have to find some kind of religion. In 2015, somebody tried to kill me. I mean, it was a doctor, but I know, like, I study religion, so I know. Well, I mean, I'm also doorman. I know collections when I see them. Collections, insurance fraud. As a doctor, I mean, I call upon the powers of the Republic of the Great State of Texas to assist me against the heathen zombie apocalypse of Florida. Just sold our space program and tried to blame some penniless. These homos are calling us crazy, Houston. Verily, I say unto thee, these homos in particular are calling us crazy. I never had to deal with any bird-wristed academic heretic in Texas. I'm presuming they have them. If they have them, they're okay with them, because that's how Texas works. If it's there, they're okay with it. Arizona, New Mexico. Something happened when I left. That's on you. Tell me what to do. I'm over here now. Can't guard a river. You gonna guard a wall? Texas wanted a space ladder. Build it on the moon. I don't care. Build it on the sun. I ain't volunteering. The most logical course of action is no longer escape to the planet Mars. We're building a space ladder because we're truckers. We're drivers. We're winners. Trucking in space. That's what it is. We ain't running away. Imagine these idiot cops. You take off with your shit, man. Like, he ran away. Admission of guilt. And then, like, billing your employer. Like, I have legal pretense against the police. The public's, like, sick of hearing about the cops getting sued. They're ready to kill them. I don't know how we want to work this. They're waiting around forever. The legal pretense they make me. There's no rationally demonstrable. Houston, these homos are calling us crazy. Tell me to shut up. The gay mafia raped me on an operating table. That's not the sort of thing Aryan Nation. I mean, they might have been in on it. We ain't cool. They frame some Aryans, but then it works the same way. Like, oh, the Russians were in on it. Oh, so do whatever we want. The Russians officially didn't rape a 7-year-old Irishman and blame the Italians. So, you shut up. Entertainment Tonight, Inside Edition, TMZ, whatever that means. That's my face. Some idiot gave the cops their own media company. It's illegal. We can just take that. I didn't know that somebody thought they could just don't ask, don't tell you behind your back and deny you your rightful chosen occupation by virtue of pretending that you fled the scene after stomping somebody, whatever. I didn't know they I mean, I guess you could do that. I don't know why they would do it to me. Never lived the kind of life that would make me think, oh, they're after me Lucky Charms. It never occurred to me. I do know if it was an inside job, there'd have been, the soil would have been consecrated, would have been news. The news would have no alternative. There would have been news, and that's how you go on about your life. Don't call me a retard, get your ass kicked, and act like it didn't happen. Act like you're still in charge. And if I'm on the clock and you don't like what I did, write your congressman. If I'm off the clock, I did what I did for a reason. Play God and be the wrong one. Pinkertons, you guys aren't historically the sharpest tools in the shed. Useful in the past, there's precedent, $1 a day in silver, adjusted for inflation. Period. It's not a career. We have the FBI, or we have the Pinkertons, and we have the FBI. The Department of Treasury is under no obligation to hire you at all. Department of Defense is solvent, I said. So the Secret Service, Jackson stays on the money. Turns out the Trail of Tears was paved in pride. The transatlantic slave trade wouldn't have, the Civil War wouldn't have been an issue if Jackson hadn't presided during when the Marines around that time. Why would the news lie to us? They say history is written by the winners. Well, the winners are obviously Turkey. What does that mean? It means we're adopting Turkey. Turkey can be my son. My understanding is there's already Muslim Templars. So what does this mean? Ultimately, it means that the gay mafia is going to be pushing Russia around, ripping off of Russian children, leaving Germany holding the bag. I don't know. There's an argument for being a good German. Like, if there's no such thing as a Nazi, there's only good Germans and repentant Germans. All of those. Being an Irishman, I know my place is on the ground where religion happens. But I try to be a good boy. Sometimes I fail. Usually come out on top. And then I'm the repentant German. That works. First, do no harm, or you're not a doctor. Watch it. It's the law. It's not a law. There's no argument otherwise. Because, for one thing, we can't compete with the Hashashin. We have no way of knowing if you are under their influence. Why we would pay taxes or anything else. I was reconciled to the Hippocratic Oath. You're welcome. Somebody told New York something. I would like confirmation. The real God knows my heart, feels my pain. In the afterlife, come hell or high water or whatever direction, I will face judgment eye to eye. And you'll just have to take my word for that. In the meantime, no God of this world worthy of our praise, love, devotion, fear, respect, forgiveness. I say there's going to be legal ramifications for some doctors, for some judges, or pensions are going to be. I mean, you got to take that job a little more seriously. Some cops. There's going to be certain cops. Vast majority of cops are going to be, either see reason in that or their opinion. Okay, so don't play like the thin blue line. We're talking about a fat rainbow shadow. And then corporate's going to do what corporate do. It's going to change hands. At least, blame the Muslims all you want. It's not the Muslims, it's Islam. But I mean, you can be all Allahu Akbar online. We have a right to work and stuff. Live our lives 24/7. Our God's cool with it. Maybe one day you too could try a civilized, reasonable God. But in the meantime, you own property. We acknowledge the lawful. You have legal. That's fine. There's no. Florida talking about they can't irrigate the farms. Agriculture can't compete. We have to use white slavery. I seen the Indians buying gas. Like they like work. Turkey. I don't know how you cook an 8-hour shift for how many hundreds of patrons and pray 5 times a day. See what I'm saying, Washington? Freedom of the press is a sacred and inviolable mutual protection. They want to compete for exclusivity. There's no argument for public transparency. In foreign policy, yeah, they have a right to know what the cops are doing. The deficit turned out somebody lied. That's espionage, sabotage. There's diplomatic pretense. You don't go at Britain. Don't go at Ireland. Don't go at France, Italy. Figured France can't see what's going on in Germany. Germany got hit by Bill Gates, $20 billion. Bill Gates, I don't need to run for president. I am the war financier you need. The idiots think they can blame all the tragedy and the atrocity in Africa and be like, oh, we have to help them whether you want to or not, and then piss on Deutsche Bank for flavor, cook it in an oil drum fire and eat it. Probably get out of the euro and so on. Because Jackson stays on the money.